Acting as small incentives to pursue more and more of any given game's content, trophies are always satisfying to pop, but sometimes these optional goals step too far, occasionally asking that little bit too much and sinking into the territory of just being incredibly frustrating. Consequently, some trophies will forever go down as being abysmal pieces of hair-pulling nonsense that don't test the player on any measure of skill, but on sheer tenacity, asking them to weather a never-ending storm of frustrating requirements. Most of the time, the trophies aren't even that difficult, but they have annoying stipulations that make them a pure pain to acquire. So yeah, thanks, I hate it. I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 frustrating PlayStation trophies designed to piss you off. Number 10. Dedication Crisis 2. Admittedly, Crisis 2 was rather clever when it designed this trophy, requiring the player to play online multiplayer 6 months after the first time they initially played it, thus giving gamers a reason to hang on to a copy for at least that substantial time window. Clever, right? I mean, kind of, but in the same way that a serial killer can also be clever, I guess. Having to wait 6 months just to get a bronze trophy is absurd, and considering how it's an online trophy as well, there are no ways to cheat the clock. You have to have kept the game installed and then play it 6 months later. Forgetting to log back in and play the game again, or accidentally uninstalling the data and losing your progress only adds to the frustration. Not to mention the fact that the trophy is actually quite glitched, and often resulted in a second stint of 6 months to be popped. And now the servers are being shut off forever, so yeah, forget about ever getting this platinum. Number 9. Master of Arms / Shadow / ARCHMAGE, Dragon Age Origins. You might be wondering why there are 3 instead of just 1 on this entry, and that's because on their own, these trophies are actually quite simple enough tasks that you can usually acquire without even trying. But all 3 of them represent one of the most annoying things to happen when searching for trophies. The idea of getting to level 20 with a warrior, rogue, and mage class respectively, meaning you need to complete the entire game 3 times over. And in a game like Dragon Age Origins, where you really do need to sink in 60 plus hours to get to the end, this can absolutely wear on you. And getting to level 20 isn't even that easy, and it requires you to do every side mission and optional area just to get close. And doing all that 3 separate times can just be painful, even in a game as good as this. Developers really need to stop forcing players to play through long-winded games multiple times just to get a trophy. Don't make me hate the games that I absolutely love. Number 8. Captain Did It, Return of the OBRA DINN. For the most part, Return of the OBRA DINN's trophies are simple. All you have to do is complete the game to get 99% of them, however, there is one secret achievement designed purely as a joke. And to be honest, it's actually a pretty good joke. The game is all about finding out how the crew of the titular ship died, and who or what killed them, and then submitting your investigation. To pop this trophy though, you have to put the culprit of each person's death as the captain of the ship, blaming everything on him. The only issue is the trophy itself doesn't inform you how to attain it, giving only the vague description of loosely true in the eyes of company and crown. What the hell does that even mean? How would you know this without having to check up a guide? This, combined with having to play through most of the game again for one final trophy, is enough to rub you up the wrong way. Let me tell you, the devs are lucky the joke was at least worth it. Number 7. Soldier, Demon Souls. Demon Souls helped write the book on hard games, and you'd expect its trophies to reflect that mentality. Yet while most trophies and achievements double as rewards for defeating bosses or finishing the game, Soldier requires the player to collect all the unique weapons throughout, and if you think that sounds easy, you haven't played Demon Souls. There are 35 weapons that you need to collect, and most are simple enough. However, certain ones require you to juggle the tendency system of the game, which changes the world state based on your moral actions towards other characters. It's extremely tedious and annoying to jump back and forth between 2 polar opposite personalities, and can be incredibly infuriating to do so because the method requires the player to also never die, and playing through multiple new game pluses to collect the items necessary for changing the tendency. All in all, it's just a whole lot of faff and effort, resulting in nothing but pure annoyance. Number 6. Fighter, Warrior and Hero, Prince of Persia Warrior Within. Another trifecta of annoying trophies that, on face value anyway, are pretty standard and fairly easy to get. They require the player to complete the game on easy, medium, and hard mode respectively, which you might think sounds pretty good. Hell, most games have achievements like this. And yes, you would be technically right, but most other games actually stack trophies like this. In fact, pretty much every PlayStation game does. What this means is that if you complete the game on hard mode, you only get the hero trophy. You have to then go back and play the game on the 2 lower difficulties, despite having already proven yourself to be capable of the challenge, just to get the others. Naturally, this means you have to play the game a minimum of 3 times just to get the basic trophies. It's an industry standard by now to have stackable trophies like this, but more and more games are breaking that trend. And that is just damned infuriating. So while this specific example is Prince of Persia, this also stands in for any game insulting enough to make you slog through this 3 times. Or potentially even more. Number 5, Killing Machine Resistance 2. Games often require players to kill X amount of insert enemy here to gain a trophy. And most of the time, it's the kind of challenge that would easily be accumulated over the span of an entire game, or require the player to go a little bit out of their way to take their counter over. However, Resistance 2 combines 2 of the worst aspects of a trophy: online multiplayer and absurdly high numbers. Killing Machine needs the player to get 10,000 kills in ranked online multiplayer matches. Consequently, this trophy was the bane of many players' lives and completely sapped the life out of what was a decent online offering. Taking over 50 hours, and that's if you're a skilled enough player or have a friend to help, the trophy is nothing more than a huge time sink. Not only did it require time and effort, it also required skill though. Being online meant that you couldn't cheese the AI to rack up kills, you actually had to rely on your own merit and nab 10,000 kills on your lonesome. And yeah, get good, I hear you all saying, but no, it's the game that should get good if you ask me. Number 4, XXL Fight Night Round 4. As if online trophies weren't horrible enough already. They require players to test their skill against other players instead of AI, and often need a lot more ability to complete, as just mentioned. On top of this, you also have to deal with hackers and players who don't play by the game's own rules, and if all that wasn't bad enough, Fight Night Round 4 wants you to be the very best of the very best. XXL requires the player to be the number 1 ranked player in the entire world, which is nigh on impossible even back when the game was in its heyday and had an active fan base. Requiring the player to not only become proficient enough at the game, thereby being somewhat decent at online, but also be the best at the game is pretty insane. Couple that with hackers and modders who alter the leaderboards, resulting in glitched and broken rank systems, and getting the trophy was virtually impossible. Number 3, Endangered Lizards, Shadow of the Colossus. Probably one of the worst examples of a growing trend when it comes to trophies and collectibles in general, Endangered Lizards asks the player to hunt and shoot all the silver-tailed lizards in the overworld, resulting in a simple collectible run. But it's a blind collectible run, meaning no hints, no clues, and no in-game way of finding them beyond sheer patience. The fact that games throw a bunch of collectibles for the player to find and then don't give the player any reasonable way of locating them is an absurd trend that just needs to stop. It's especially annoying when a trophy is locked away in the process, as often players resort to online guides that cheapen the entire experience just to get through. And then there's the fact that here, these little so-and-sos are just so damn hard to shoot, constantly scurrying away to hide in the most jarring and inaccessible of places. Number 2, ABSTERGO Employee of the Month, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Assassin's Creed is infamous for its online trophies being absurdly difficult and annoying. Download Complete would be the obvious choice for an annoying trophy, considering how it asks you to reach max level in the online, but the one that takes its place is even more ridiculous. ABSTERGO Employee of the Month requires the player to get every single bonus in multiplayer at least once. Doesn't sound too difficult, but considering the fact that there are 37 of them, it becomes a lot harder. And that's not even mentioning the fact that you must be at least level 29, and the fact that there is no in-game way of tracking the bonuses, meaning you have no way to know if you've previously gotten one. But the most absurdly annoying thing is the general difficulty of some of these bonuses, like mid-air, which asks you to get a kill with the hidden gun while, you guessed it, in mid-air. And you have to do all of this in the random environment of the online mode, where you have to wait for the right moment instead of being able to tailor the situation to your needs like in single player. Number 1, My Kung Fu is Stronger, Mortal Kombat. This is a sadistic joke on the part of the game developers and is simply there to annoy the player, plain and simple. It doesn't challenge, require skill, or any degree of ability, it just requires the player to sit there, hitting their head against the gaming version of a brick wall for a minimum, and I stress, a minimum, of 672 hours. That's 28 days straight. Do I even need to finish this entry? My Kung Fu is Stronger requires the player to get the following: 100 victories, 100 fatalities, 150 X-ray attacks, spill 10,000 liters of blood, and play for 24 hours. Oh, and if you think that's not too bad, you have to do this for all 28 characters, resulting in numbers and time sinks that are almost beyond human comprehension. There really isn't much to be said about how tedious, annoying, and how simply frustrating this trophy really is. The numbers speak for themselves and are a testament to just how brutally infuriating and nigh on impossible the trophy is to get. I mean, I could get a master's in the time it takes me to complete this trophy. Why did I even try? So that's our list. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are there any trophies more infuriating than this? And did you actually get any of these? Because seriously, if you did, congratulations to you. Either way, while you're down there, could you give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to WhatCulture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Even if you don't though, I've been Josh, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.